today. It is Thursday, could be afternoon, could be morning, could be early Friday. What's up? What's up? Let's start. I come through here and see what we working on. See what we got. Gonna be on for try to do an hour. See what we working with. Let's see if I get it. And we're gonna definitely get this thing going. Get this show on the road. We're gonna talk about that basketball. We're gonna talk about the comeback last night. We are live here. We're gonna be doing some living for a while. Mode today. Know that you should. We're gonna just see what we're working with. If you have not talk about a different host of topics, I'm gonna start with this basketball because this was crazy last night with this comeback. And I've been so there's nothing new. I've been saying this team is the team nobody wants to play. I think the Pacers are a threat to win it all. I think if they beat the Knicks, I think they could be a problem for will come out the West. There's some about them that it's a little bit different. It hits a little bit different. And then they got all the makings of a 1-year wonder. But oh, wouldn't that be something if they won? That would be the most unlikeliest. This would be unlikely because you can't recall. It happens every once in a blue that a team that doesn't have that superstar, that it guy, wins. And we're in an era of parity, so why not now? Naismith went off in the fourth quarter. Halliburton has been balling. He's making postseason noise. I'm telling you, a lot of people are not taking. It's just I don't know what that means. You have to tell me what it means in English. So I don't know. But if you stumbled across this site, thank you. But still, you have to let me know what you're saying. Cosm Kagosa. So everybody's doing all right though. We're having a pretty good day. Yeah, just starting out today. So, but yeah, very impressive. What a win. Game went to overtime. The Knicks were about 14, 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game. Who saw that? Who saw that comeback? It's basketball is a really trip out sport like that because you just don't know. And to see a team emerge like that and to do what they did, that's just impressive. That's heck of impressive. So, you know, um, it says a lot about their character. That will, that fight, that drive, that divine. So, you know, so just incredible. And I just was amazed at what they were able to do. I really was. I think it got a chance to be a long series, but I also think the Pacers are gonna be a problem. I think they're gonna be a problem, you know. So we're gonna see how it turns out. Definitely gonna be interesting. I think the Pacers, all the hype. And see, this is the thing. They have nothing to lose. They really don't. Everybody's anointing Jalen Brunson as the most clutch player. Somebody forgot to tell it to Halliburton. They forgot to tell him, hey, someone's more clutch than you. You keep hearing how everyone's better than you. And I guess he keeps taking it personal because he be stirring it up. I'm really impressed with the Pacers. I've said before and I'll say it again. There's something about that team that's kind of special. You know, Rick Carlisle knows how to coach, and don't be surprised. They could be, they could come up short. I just got a feeling that they might be able to do something. I just think this is going to be a really, when you lose a game like that, you blow that kind of lead, you open yourself up to all kinds of scrutiny. And I know it's just one game, but the Knicks, the way they beat Boston, and to have that happen at home after that high the other night after spanking Boston, and now your first game and you choke away a game where Brunson had 43 and Cat played his best game. He scored 35. So I don't know if you can get much better than that. You put up some high numbers, you played your kind of game and you got beat. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it loans itself. That's the thing. And sometimes these matchups are a trip. These matchups are very interesting. How, some teams tend to radiate, so we'll have to see it all plays out. But it start off one game, but I got a feeling the Pacers are not gonna go down without a battle. And I know some people don't want to have to look at them because they're not the fan favorite, but I'm telling you, they could be a problem. So You know. Yeah, it's very interesting. I can't recall. It's been a while. The last time we had an underdog team was probably like Toronto, and then you had Dallas back in 20, and it's few random. But the interesting thing about the Pacers, this is probably if the Pacers go off and win it all. Let's say hypothetically go and win it all. This would probably be the first team since those '04 Pistons that you don't have a guy that you would say is a top 5 player on a championship team. Wouldn't that be ironic? That's the irony that's at work here. So, because nobody looks at Halliburton and nothing else after that is considered top 10 worthy. So, wow, that would be a statement. But we're going to see. Series just starting, but it was a big loss for the Knicks, though. I mean, I'm sorry. You came after that emotion game 6 and y'all had a parade and y'all party hardy and you had a big lead in this game and then you blew it. And sometimes you get a hangover that you can't shake. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But I've been saying the Pacers are a dangerous team. I got in on that after, looking at the Milwaukee series, the way they mishandled Cleveland. I mean, so, and I know there's a lot of basketball, but then again, you never know. A team like this could be on a mission. So we will see how it all goes. And I do understand some people aren't here right now because the notifications don't go out and stuff like that. So bear in mind, I understand. I came on a little bit early, try my luck. We're going to see what comes up. You know, give it here about an hour. We'll be here for an hour. We'll see what we're working with. Be here for an hour. We'll see if it's our destiny. I definitely see people in the place, or it's just a matter if you want to come in the place. Hmm. So feel free. Come on through. And I also took care of PayPal. So if anybody wants to donate, feel free. That's at your own discretion. But anybody who donates to the PayPal, I will acknowledge your name live. And if you have a question, I will present it. That's my new plan and train of thought. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So it's just a reminder. Hmm. We'll see how things go. We're just coming through live, and we're right now just talking about the game last night, which was a interesting ending because it was a 14-point deficit. And who saw the Pacers coming back? I mean, that's very impressive. I mean, the fact that you're on the road, you had finished your series, and you come back into New York, and everybody's rolling against you, as has been the case with Indiana since the playoffs have started. Everyone's been picking. There's this romanticism with Jalen Brunson with the Knicks. There's romanticism that the Knicks, because they beat the Celtics. But the Indiana Pacers are the cardiac kids. They're the ones who just keep on going and they keep having it and they just keep doing their thing. And it's one of those things that, again, teams like this are not romanticized. They're not seen as the ones that you want to win, but they're the ones who could win and they probably should win. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be very interesting how it plays out. Rick Carlisle is a really good coach. They got a really good team. They don't have a great team, but they got the kind of team in today's environment and climate they could sneak. So we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, we're here today. And we're gonna do something. Hmm. 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 So let me know. Hmm. Mhm. So anyway, we sort of got okay. So far, it's been pretty quiet so far today, so we're just not coming on. Just taking it kind of easy so far. Mhm. Mhm. So we're just kind of taking it easy so far. Yeah, it's kind of slow day so far. I will definitely be on probably tomorrow. Then I'll probably take a day or two. Probably take Saturday off. So see what kind of buzz I get. See what we got so far. Yeah, there's nobody coming through today. It's just interesting. I'll probably make it kind of a short day today. Sometimes without the buzz, it's just not the same. See what I got. Pretty mellow day. Mhm. Yeah, I see a few people coming through. Pretty mellow day. So let's see what I'm working with. Mhm. Yeah, we're just in the middle of everything. Mhm. I'm going to give it a few more minutes if everybody comes through. If I don't see nobody another 10 or so, I'll probably call it a day. Just kind of one of those days. Mm. We just trying to looking around, see what's up. Like I said, I'll give it a few more minutes. Just thought I'd do a little talking real quick. So yeah, and again, that's what kind of what happens. So sometimes these notifications go out. Sometimes people are busy. So I just thought I'd do some narrative for a moment. So we shall see what's up. Hope everybody good. Yeah, good times up. So just think I just do it kind of remote for now. Just see what we got going on. Going back and forth. Mm, correct. Some days be more than others. It's crazy how it is. And some days you have like people nonstop, and some days you can't get no one. Okay, so we're just seeing it to be unfold. It's one of those kind of days where it just you have to kind of fill in the gaps. So I will, again, I will work it for a half hour, then I'll call it a day. We're gonna go one. Mm, so we got mm, nice and quiet day. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna make it like another 3 more minutes. And I just have to take the like no one didn't show up today, so it's all good. Okay. Just trying to see if anybody was gonna come through. And I just have to kinda like go play it for like one of the lines. So mm, yeah, I don't know. So we got a couple more minutes. We're gonna knock it off at the 30-point mark. I don't think there's gonna be nothing drastic. I do have 2 likes so far, but this is pretty much not gonna happen today. So some days it be like that. Some days it's your day, some days it's not. I don't know. Just that. Hmm. Well, we're gonna call it in a couple minutes. I don't see nobody coming through. Mhm. I don't know what that be meaning, so you guys to go. And all this time someone comes on here and they wants to be using some words and stuff. They got nothing else better to do. They used to have the decency and the common sense to address somebody and say, hello, how are you? I mean, if I don't agree with you, say something, but don't come out there and say using words. Nobody asks for all that. I don't go for that on my channel. So we can stay civilized and adult. All right. Okay. Mm, never know. Anyway, okay. I'll give it 2 more minutes before I'm gonna call it a day. What's up? Oh, you came at the right time. You came at the right time. I was just gonna check out because nobody had hit. Oh, Will, by the way, do you see my PayPal anything up there? Because I finally got it changed up, so I got it added on. So anybody who donates it, you've been donating, and I appreciate you. It comes up on my thing. So the PayPal is connected up there, and you donate. Everything is all up to date. So I just thought I'd let you know. Appreciate you donating in the past, and I just thought I'd let you know. Also, as a reminder for everybody that donates, not only will I acknowledge you, I will also take your questions first upon request. So donations, names, acknowledgement, and is it up there though? Because I can't see it on my thing, but that is at PayPal. I can't see. I got the logo. I got a logo for the note that I got. But anyway, just putting it out there. It's definitely been appreciated. So, but anyway, um, these Pacers, I've talked about them. So feel free to fire away questions because I am waiting to talk about that team. Very impressive win. What's okay? Here you go. What's up? There we go. It's on my YouTube studios. Actually, if you go to the studios and you click on my name, it should take you back there, and it should be under link though. But I will have to. I do have my logo, so my logo is up at the top. When you donate it, it lets me know. So I got everything set up. So just have to see it though. I'll get it sorted out though. Yeah, they did. And how that turned out. He's what I like about his game is that he just plays in the moment. He's always the underdog. He's not great, but he's good. He's a problem, you know. He's one of those kind of guys that he's not scared of the moment. He wasn't supposed to be able to will them over Milwaukee. He wasn't supposed to will them over in Cleveland. And Jalen Brunson is the big bad monster. But see, this is the kind of team that if you're Adam Silver, well, he looked not too good at the start, but he didn't caught on fire this last month. I mean, he's peaking at the right time. He's peaking and they're playing at a high level. I just didn't think that their defense, well, this ain't my first time saying that they were dangerous. I've had other polls in here before where I've asked if you thought they were dangerous. I after the way they handled Milwaukee and they beat Cleveland, I said, is this team for real? I've been saying it. Because to me, they are the Eastern Conference version of what OKC does. And they're playing very mature and they're playing with house money. So there's nothing to lose. Rick Carlisle is the only coach that's left that's won. You know, Tibbs is trying to get to where Rick Carlisle has been. So Rick Carlisle, and the funny thing about it, I don't put that kind of stuff out here because this is not this kind of a network. Um, the last time I seen a team like this that was good, not great, but good, was the Pistons in '04. So once in a blue, you get a team like that. And we're in an era of parity. So you might get a surprise. You just might. We'll see. So what's up, Ted? What's up, Jay Will? Feel free to chime in. Because if you got conversation, I'm got time. That's why I'm on here. I'm looking forward to conversating. So let's make it count. Yeah, he picked after he left, they haven't lost. So maybe he was what was needed. Maybe they needed him to be gone. Because now they're yeah, and to see, I'm gonna say this, and it's not fashionable to say. I'm actually agreeing with Paul Pierce. I know what he was trying to say on that show. Boston was the better team. It's just New York was the right team. That's the best way I can describe it. Because the Knicks, I'm still amazed that they won that series. Oh, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Tibbs got to find a way. They had everything to steal this game because then they was trying to give it to him on them fouls on 3-point shooting. But you know, I don't know about that because they sure did. I don't know about that because if you remember, Jason went White Chocolate got by him and left him at the top of the key. I mean, Gary, you gotta remember, it all depends. Yeah, well, that's what I like. Yeah, the Knicks act like they won the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, y'all really a star. They are. I don't like them. I don't like them. Just like Yankee fans, I don't like. Yeah, Jokic. Well, Gary was bad. Gary was bad. No questions asked. But hypothetically, um, I'm trying to really think who did he slow down that had handles like that. I mean, that's asking. Yeah, well, Jokic and the fans need to be upset with him because he sure didn't do much. He got held to 20-9. And he didn't really take over, and his stats don't really help out. Yeah, I think the Knicks fans definitely hurt themselves. So, well, they ain't used to nothing. That's what it shows you. You have issues with AI, Jay Will too. No, what you mean I have issues? I think they all were great for what they all had handles and they had flair. I don't think Kyrie. Yeah, well, that's cat for you. Pressure and pants get tight. Pressure, yo. Tight cheeks get tight. It becomes pressure. Um, they would definitely try to body him up. Him and Tim Hardaway would definitely try to body him up. Jay Will and him would have been interesting. Him and AI would have been an all time battle. Yeah, but when the pressure's on, your pants get tight. I'm trying to tell you, don't mean nothing. Thank you for telling me. He was only 65. I thought he was older than that. He was a very interesting character. Some people may say eccentric. He was interesting. He said some wild stuff too. So, you know, he was a character. Kind of did Peyton Manning kind of dirty if you think about it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then how did that turn out with the old Slurpee? 'Cause old Slurpee came in behind him, and after the ball wasn't flattened and what have you, his career was over. So how did that turn out? Because they were slurping what's his butt when they got him at court, Andrew Luck. Oh, him and Aaron Rodgers. Oh God. And it's strange too because he wasn't the reason why they lost that World Series to the Mets. And the Boston just couldn't win, and he just happened to have success with the Yankees. It's just strange to me because he's so great. He should be celebrated by both and Toronto. I mean, that guy was incredible as he got older. I mean, he had he's arguably the greatest pitcher I've ever seen in my life. And it's hard to argue against how dominant he was, but I look at him, well, they need to get over it. Oh, thank you. Well, it depends on whose style wins. He was a choice. It depends on whose style wins because Foreman has to catch him. Holmes can get you and wear you down. Now, because it means that you have to work him. And you better knock him out because if you don't, he's going to give you a dizzy spell and he's going to end up beating you. Yeah. Well, yeah, Clemens should be acknowledged by both parties. I mean, he was, you know, the guy was great. I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest pitchers ever, one of the greatest players ever. It's ridiculous if you don't acknowledge him. Yeah, I do too. That's a lost time. Especially in the middleweights. In the 80s, we had Sugar Ray, Benitez, Hitman Hearns, Duran, Hagler, Livingston Brand. You had a lot. Well, I guess if another 40 years, he'll be in. But the way they did Pete Rose, they'll probably do him in Bonds that way. I saw that mess. I didn't want to even make it into a video. He trying to get the bag. We'll see if he can sell. And he already had a great career, so I don't know. We're just trying to get him some money. The money's there. If you got a name in your boxer, you can make the bag. Mhm. Yeah. Who's the hardest hitter for pound for pound? What are you talking about? Got me stomped on that one. You talking about George Foreman? You can make a strong case for Floyd Patterson. You can make a strong case for Sonny Liston. You can make a strong case for Jack Johnson. It depends on what era we're talking. Uh, you know what that means. They just taking them all out because they don't want them to say nothing. It ain't nothing by accident. Just like the bodyguard for Beyonce. And people start disappearing that can say stuff. And, they know. Oh, yeah. Told you the story that uh, Frank Sinatra was doing some movie and he had a rifle and he was actually doing a scene where he was playing a sniper. He was looking out the window with it. And they told him about JFK and he just kept on going in his cadence. It was known. Hey, why not? I mean, first of all, he kept getting better with each passing year. He's got league MVP. He wins. He goes on. Accolades come. Sure, we're not. Mhm. So, mhm. Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of how it always is. Nothing new. In fact, it's more romanticized too. Because if you go to the video store and you have Italian mobsters and black mobster movies, which section you think is going to get the love? I'd imagine they have been. But the thing about it is, did he has the winning record? Did they beat Denver just now? Did he come up clutch? Did his teammates play better? I mean, that's all I'm going to say. They can hate all they want, but one guy is in the Western Conference Final, the other guy went on vacation a week ago. Yeah. Mm. It's always been the case too. It's always been the case. They got rewarded and acknowledged. And the funny thing is that these R&B, these rappers, taking on those old names is crack me up. I believe that it could have been a misdiagnosis, but I think it probably was known. It's pretty serious. Um, and I don't know with all the lingering effects, you know, even though I'm not particularly fond of the man, I never wish nothing like that on nobody. And I do send thoughts and prayers that, because it's real. It's real. But again, even if he did hide it, he ain't no 34 convicted felon. So I don't want nobody coming talking about how what he did when they got somebody there who already broke it. Because it's what the industry wants. It makes them out to be the bad guys. So let me explain this. If you haven't heard it, I'll explain it. The music industry was the film industry before there was a music industry. So Charlie Chaplin did all the music, all Cassius did all that stuff, right? So when you're in the industry, that's not a rumor. That should be like right now. Um, when you're in the industry, they have this thing called William Morrissey Agency. They have these agencies. A lot of people don't know that Michael Jackson and Prince both shared the same agency. So the agency is marketing and it's character. And sometimes cats create characters. That's part of being in show business. These rappers who act all tough. Well, they don't want to pay him because they know that he could pout and mount. And plus, they pretty much done seen the best of him. He's not going to morph into 2020, Jimmy. He's not going to morph into 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, Jimmy. He's older and he's basically as only as good as what Steph can cover him, but he's not that dude. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. So I don't blame Golden State. If they can move on from him and get a bidder, get it. They got to get young anyway. They got to get some shooters and some scores. I'd do it if I'm Cleveland. Yeah, because baseball's the only think about it. If you go into math class, right, and you score 30, you flunk. Baseball tells you when I was going to school, 60, depending on the teacher, could be a D, 70 could be a D. Think about it. That's unheard of. So baseball, that logic works against you. Yeah, they miss him because they didn't have no clutch shooting. Because Buddy Hield had an outer body, but Buddy Hield, golf is tough because of fundamentally of you, because that's the only sport that can embarrass you with how you hit. But the good thing about golf, you can manipulate. You get your birdies, you get on the green. Baseball can sit out there and embarrass you because when guys strike out, sometimes they shooting shit, hitting anything and missing it all. Yeah, they miss Clay because they don't have a Buddy Hield is too streaky, and that was it really. And they weren't going to beat no Minnesota. But yeah, baseball is tricky. But yeah, if I'm in Cleveland, I unload all them pieces and try to get him. I sure do. But I don't know if anybody would trade him straight to the East though. I don't know. Yeah, because that's 30%. He's right. In NBA, you better do something else. Football, you better do something else. I mean, it's true. But it's tough to hit the baseball. It's tough. And you got to be so consistent and driven, and that's a lot. Hmm. He did. He was something else. And then there was a guy named Brian Jordan who was playing for the St. Louis Cardinals, and he doubled up for a minute. Uh, No, it's Bo Jackson. It's not even close. I love Dion. Dion was must see, but it was Bo. Bo was amazing. And that's the only one that's the only answer of the two. Because Dion himself said it. Dion himself gave it up for Bo. If you ain't see Bo Jackson run up and down the back end of of the he caught a ball in the outfield and ran up the side of the fence and hitting chunky home runs because he played longer. But Bo's hit on Brian Bosworth ended a career. And Dion didn't do no tackling. Bo was something else. I mean, he was a freak. As much as I love Dion. Oh yeah, he always trying to over articulate and be all like he deep. He be you know what? He's like a sports version of Michael Eric Dyson. And if you ever watch Karen Hunter show, she had Michael Eric Dyson on and he'd be all using big words and try to be all deep while he was trying to hit on that chick on CNN. Just embarrassing himself. I say, look, if you wanted it, say you admit it, but don't be up there trying to like. But yeah, Wiley's pathetic, man. That's why he been like he got all some tea, but he wants to be part. If you ever seen Higher Learning with Lawrence Fishburne playing the professor to Ice Cube and Omar Epps on him, that's what he longs to be. He longs to be some kind of professor. He be bopping his head and corny. Now he from Cali and he got some Suge Knight stories, but he's corny. He's cool with Whitlock. I mean, he uses certain things he says because of the way he talk, but he be corny. Yeah, yeah. It's just, but no, what we're talking about up there, Bo was that dude. Wiley, yeah, I ain't even seen it yet, and I'm going to see it, but that's not surprising. That's not surprising. Him and Whitlock and them tag team, and he always like, yeah, I know. I'm not surprised. All the fans pretty much do it, and they hate to be called out on it. Some of them do. So it's not a surprise. It's just that Adam Silver's a liar, and they don't really care about anything in them stands. They know the direction. So Steve Kim, Ferraro, I could tell you with Whitlock, he never got no play, so it messes with him. So I did a video about it, and I got it coming out. As a matter of fact, once I'm done, oh, okay, okay. Well, I seen him. I don't pay him no mind because he's pretty much like a marginal cat, third tier buster. I got it. And even the pay was like, they say, "You keep it, we don't want you." Oh, I did a video coming on. I clown on RG3. Of course I did. I talked about it. Um, my thing is this. I tell these cats all the time, I don't care who you with, you gonna get your wake up call. And see, RG3 is just pillow to post right now because he's still hanging pretty much. And he's so desperate for, and he didn't get the Diddy discount either. Um, RG3 is pathetic, man. He's just pathetic, So, but Ryan Clark, that was easy. You see, this is the thing. If you're a journalist, you got to understand the fine line between being a journalist and personal. He do, but see, that's because he's so busy trying to run from. He got rejected a lot. That's what that was. They called him ugly, and they wasn't touching him. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that his attitude is something that's foreign to me because there were cats who felt like they were getting disrespected. We have a lot of loathing in our community where people do down and they go through it. And you got to hear all kinds of, and so when you get a situation where someone actually looks at you and says, "Oh, you're okay," boom. So helps out. We're on traveling and everything like that. But RG3 is just a cornball, and it's just one of those cats that just, until it's like you can't really be serious. Hmm. Yep. And when you have situations like that, you can fool around and lose too. You, it could be a real backbreaker for the Knicks. Oh, I bet. I bet. They usually do. And a lot of times these cats be thinking that they're exempt from something, and then when it happens, it's like, oh, you know. So, you know, I can't sit here and say I feel sorry for you. I'm not feeling sorry for you. Yep. And people are real bold with it too. Real bold. Mhm. Yeah, real bold, seen it on job. Okay. Yeah, I have to check it out. But I'm not surprised. Like I always say, people are real bold, bold. They don't hold back. They ain't holding back. And they let you know they don't care for you. Hmm. So nobody cares. Uh Lakers, Jenny Buss, Phil Jackson, Jenny Buss, Kyle Kuzma. That's part of ownership. You stick with the team. They do it all the time. I mean, I ain't got nothing to say about it because it's part of sports. If I told you about some of these owners and these people that were messing around, and they're gonna be some real ones, of course. But again, the owners are usually white, and you know, so as I tell you, it's a lot more common than you think. Somebody gives you a benefit. Of course they do. That's how they get a story, and you get paid a commission. Let's not be naive. There's always the hottest ticket. That's what she said. She should. She should. And she could have a podcast and do quite well. Sure, why not? I mean, the Better Pecan ain't gonna go nowhere for another 5 years. And she's got strong base, so why not? And also, let's just keep it 100. The shows are dull. There's too many people saying the same thing, and there's no diversion. So, you know, yeah, I mean, saying 5 years of peak prime on her body where she should be good, if she doesn't, get sloppy, she should be fine. But I'm just saying five in terms of now. Say the end of this one to five because, you know, she'll probably be in a different state of mind, probably in a different tax bracket. Oh, did you hear what he said about Belichick? There was a play when he were together with the Jets, and Belichick wanted Keyshawn to play safety, and they played against was it Cleveland? I forgot what it was, or Atlanta. It was some of the teams. And anyway, there was a touchdown thrown, and Parcells wanted Keyshawn to play safety, and Belichick said no. So after that happened, Keyshawn said that Belichick told Parcells told Belichick, he said, "That's why you got your behind so and so fired in Cleveland." And Keyshawn had this face like, and so he said they stuck him in the next play and he got an interception. So apparently there was words exchanged on that sidelines because Parcells let Belichick know. And then you remember when they shut him out 12-0? It was like 20 years ago. New England beat Dallas. They were very awkward how they were at the end of the game. So what'd he say? What'd he say? I know you heard about the wedding that's coming. I saw Two Raw did it. I ain't touching it. I already did the thing about Barkley looking out for his friend, and I've already said, I but Bill, something's off though. Yeah, because she's got 304 written all over her. So she working on Bill. She working on Will. She working on Will. Yeah, I know. If he goes to the finals, yes. Because that's something that Nash never did. He got to the Western Conference Finals. He never did do the whole thing. And I gotta say that he keeps getting better and better. So if he gets his team to the finals, yeah. He don't want nobody like that. Man, look, these cats are so vain. They want somebody 40, 35, 50 years younger. They don't want nobody their age. I heard, oh, did you hear about the his ex-girlfriend and old girl get into a fight at there was some kind of party last December? Bill got him fighting over him too. Bill should just go ahead and get them pills. That's all. Do like Neo and take them both in. I'd say about he's 73. I'd say about 40. 40 and up, I'd say is cool. Cause yeah, I said get your Neo on. Yo, yeah. So what happened was the ex-girlfriend's daughters were DJs at some place, and so they all went to a holiday get together. And so Bill's new one goes up there and chicks it makes some snide remarks, and that's went down. So Bill's up there. Them pills got him doing all kinds of things. So yeah. I call Bill Mr. Biggs, Mr. White Biggs. That's what we call Bill, Mr. White Biggs. Just gotta get R. Kelly to go, well, well, well. Oh, what you gonna do here? Go to North Carolina because the NFL doesn't want me no more. Yeah, you can see him. There could be some song coming out. Yeah, I said, get your Neo on. I'd say 40. I'd say anything 40, But I think that in this case, it's got played all over it. That's how I look at it. So, but then again, if he gets played, I'm gonna tell you like this: it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I don't really care for Bella cheat, so He full of himself, and he needs some humble pie. And I'm not wishing nothing bad on him. I just don't really feel him. So, but yeah, Jay, Will, if SGA goes to the finals, I have to put him over Nash then, because he's a lot to handle, and the guy's playing the high low. What's up? What's so funny? Chicago, what's so funny? Yeah, and what's your questions? You got some questions, or you just gonna come here and try to like get at somebody? I don't hide who I am. I'm a black man. What's your point? That's not what hurt Nash. Nash's problem is that he was athletic, but he didn't. He was good, but he peaked late in his career. It's like when guys like Gary Payton and Kidd, even Marbury and all them guys was popping. We didn't look at Nash like that. See, I tell Ted this because Ted was younger at the time to see it. Nash didn't really peak till like later. It was almost like he took a wonder pill or something. All of a sudden, he became like, oh, this guy. Because we didn't see him like that. And when you know, it was so strange almost. It's almost like something like you ever watch a movie and the movie's over halfway over and then this character emerges and all of a sudden this character takes over and you're like, I didn't see that coming. And that's kind of how his career was. Because when he got to the Lakers, he was shocked. He wasn't that good. So but D'Antoni, I'm just saying, D'Antoni got a way of making cats play like out their mind. So but no, he was him and Dirk didn't really hit it like that, and he wasn't seen as that dude. I did not see Nash like that, but SGA I keep seeing getting better and better. So that's all. Okay, so let's get these comments coming before we're doing really good right now. Yeah. I don't think people care about how much you defend the yards. Just I think that his impact wasn't as strong. See what's up. All right, now let's see where everybody's at. Let's get some comments going. Got quiet in here again. 57% say yes about the Pacers. Okay. Let me know where you are. If I think anybody's not gonna come back, I'll have to exit the door. So let's see. I'll give you a couple minutes. Just waiting. Okay. Anybody around? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Checking one time. Checking. 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 We'll be on for another 5 if I don't see nobody. Okay. Okay, I want to see if where everybody went. Okay, let me check this thing out because I gotta make sure everybody's on the move. I don't hear nothing, so we had a good conversation. Then it just kind of dissolved. Okay. If I don't get anything from anybody, I'll go in a couple minutes because I don't want it to just, you know. I just gotta see if anybody's coming through. We were going so good too. All right. I'll go for a couple of minutes. Okay. I will give it probably about a couple more minutes and then I will call it a day since this seems to be, it just went off. Hmm. We thought we had a good day. We definitely had a good day going. We had a good buzz going. Okay. I understand sometimes people have discrepancies. So let me know if you ever come back on. I had a pretty good hit going too today, too. This is the thing. I will definitely be back on tomorrow. I think if I come on, I got to go on a little bit later though on the day though. So we'll see. What's happening? I was just getting ready to go. You came at the right time because everybody else then kind of left me. So your timing is good. If you promise to stay on for at least 15 minutes, I'll stay on. But I can't have people go ghost. No, they're playing against a team that has nothing to lose with house money. The Pacers are well equipped. They can score. They're not the kind of team that, it's not like Boston where you had to gear up for Tatum and Brown and this team's a different juggernaut. They hit differently. Or Detroit with Cade Cunningham. They hit differently. Okay, good. We can talk then. Cool. Because everybody else disappeared and I was like kind of talking. I was filling in the blanks. And when I do the podcast, sometimes when I do clip them to the main one, there'll be some times when I'm just doing talking. So cool. So whatever questions you want to chop it up with, feel free. I'm also gonna be putting my PayPal should be up there. So Anybody wants to donate, feel free. No obligations, but I'm just got stuff up there. They should be on my if you go on my YouTube studio page, it has it on there. So the link. So, but that's for anyone who wants to. No obligation, just putting it there. Doesn't hurt though, but just saying. But anyway, I'm glad to have you. Glad to have someone come through. Hopefully, no one doesn't go ghost, and we can chop it up. 62% for the Pacers. I think yes. I don't know what that is. No, but she knew when she was she her husband worked for Diddy, and th- um and so she was kind of like in between it. So she played. She that's how she came to the business with Ryan Leslie, and then she been passed around. So I mean, when you partake in what she took, I don't know what she did. I don't think she did, but she messed around with. She was with Diddy when she messed with her husband. That's a fact. So she's the sandwich in between. So cats are just gonna use sandwich her. That's all. Yeah, before she got married, she was open. But obviously, if you're in a freak off, you obviously pretty open because you sharing whatever and whatever. And her mama came and testified that she gave Diddy 20 grand so the videotape wouldn't come on. That was in '06, '07 at their onset. So it's a lot goes on. Yeah, she ain't no victim. I mean, she got used. I'll say this. She got pimped, but then she ended up participating. So you can't sit there and say, oh, you know, she was pushing for agendas. And she named her, what's it, her daughter, who's Frankie, is named after Diddy's side name when he was getting his meds. No, she ain't. But I'm saying it like this: give him 8 to 10 years and call it half. But ain't no 15 and ain't no Rico. I ain't heard no Rico, and I ain't heard nothing that was like, you know. I haven't heard anything that I would say more that should have been dealt with prior. A lot of this stuff here is not, you know. So yeah, she's wrong, but she ain't Mrs. Queen. She ain't Mrs. Clean. So they both should be in the same situation. Because if you willingly got people on some stuff and you were part of it, you're an accessory. So make it make sense. That sounds like an accessory to me. But I think you said already, these people that have these men, well, yeah, because you don't know them. I say you an image, but you don't know what they be doing. You don't know how they got what they got, but they had to do something strange to be put in these positions. I go back with Diddy. Um, Stacy Lattisaw had a song called "Nail It to the Wall." He was a mailroom worker in the video. That's where he started off under Andre Harrell, the late '80s mailroom. He had hustle in him. He do flyers and put on shows. But that he started in the mailroom. So one of the things I understand is people just kind of like people are like random, but then it's not. Yeah, they were together back in the day, but no, there's a video called "Nail It to the Wall." You can type in Diddy and Stacey Last Saw videos. It was her last major song she did, last song, because she quit the business because she didn't like how it was messing with her spirituality. So she retired from the business. Church woman, and she still, I see her still on platforms. I was following her on Facebook. I loved her as a kid. Just back when Johnny was like an old man, with that voice. But anyway, Diddy was in that video dancing. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was cool. But I'm just saying. Hmm. Well, she wasn't on top, but they wanted her to be like a Janet Jackson type. They wanted her to pretty much be more revealing. And she wasn't going for that. Basically said you gotta give up something to get something. And she said, see ya, and peaced out. And I will tell you something. She worked with Narada Michael Walden, who worked. She did that as a kid. That's before he blew up with Aretha. That's before he blew up with Mariah, but and all that. And Whitney. I ain't gonna say that. She from DC. She knew what was up. She knew what the games. She and Johnny were very much involved. It's just that she went through. She saw enough growing up. She toured with Michael Jackson. She toured with the Jacksons, so she saw stuff up close. You know how it is, young eyes seeing things, and when you black girl, and you know how people say stuff. She saw a lot. Yep, DC, Maryland. And the thing about it is, uh, she was R&B sized, so you know, so that's kind of how it was. Her and Evelyn Champagne King were kids when they came up, late 70s. Now, when you hear her do "Love on a Two-Way Street" and "Don't Throw It All Away," come on now with that range. I'll take Stacey Lattisaw as a kid over Mariah Carey for 2000. It ain't even close. I love them records, especially with the arrangements. And she came from an era where you had to sing too, not all that, you know. But no. I hear her cover of "Don't Throw It All Away." Stacey just still sends chills with it. To me, that one was a singer. But that industry, I tell you, and everybody ain't willing to do something strange for the change. Or as I like to say, cheeks for checks, booty for looty. The problem, well, let me address those two. Shanice could sing, but Shanice's mama got in the way, for better or for worse. And then she kind of became like a love boat type of singer. She ends up doing all kinds of things. Tracy Spencer, I saw, and she still performs. Shanice still performs. Tracy Spencer had something with Elder Barge I saw online. Still looks good. Still could sing. Problem with her is that she was more pop geared. And again, she wasn't going to play the games. So she was in a real awkward situation. She was catchy, but she wasn't white. So she wasn't going to get no Debbie Gibson push. That's another thing, too. Uh, young black girls that was singing back in the day, and they had Debbie Gibson and Tiffany. Shanice for a moment, but that was like, and even Tracy Spencer, she did Imagine John Lennon's, but it didn't cross over. So they pretty much didn't really tap that market till they pushed Mariah on. I'm just saying. But I like them both though. But neither one of them can hold a candle to Stacey Loud. So sorry, because Shanice was kind of like a cute act, and Tracy was a good. She was a good singer, but just wasn't. It didn't hit. It didn't hit. It didn't hit for me. I listened to Stacey Loud, so I felt that. So it actually wasn't until the '90s when you had the Monicas and you had Brandy and Aaliyah that the black female teenage singers kind of came back. If you will, if you want to use that. Aaliyah had that mystery, and I believe R. Kelly don't be into no funny business. They could have been like the Jamie Lewis and Janet, because Aaliyah had that lane, that dance pop, and then with occasional smooth jam in the mixes. She was perfect for R. Kelly's productions. They were unfadable. Music, they were unfadable. And then you got Biggie, that I was like what I gonna say? Monica. I don't know what's thinking about Biggie for. But Monica had the street vibe. She could sing. She had little actions in that thing. And Brandy had the crossover thing, but Brandy's thing pretty much came and went in that era. But she was big though. She had the doll, she had the movie, she had the TV show. She just didn't have no personality, that's all. And she had an ounce. If she had Beyonce's star quality or Leah's aura, she could have ran that thing for extra few years longer. But people weren't feeling it though. Yeah, I liked her. She had a little edge to her. She had a little edge to her. But the problem with her is that again, it was cookie coated and it kind of came and went. She did, but she didn't really get that out of her. It didn't really come out of there. And then you had people like Deborah Cox who actually went there, but she was a double broke version of Whitney. So Monica kind of went for more what was happening, you know. Never got a chance to really get unleash a proper type of record. She did more trendy things, and of course, we never got it. So most of them did look up to Whitney, men too, because you could tell what Tevin Campbell's tone was very much Whitney inspired. Yeah, but again, I looked at her as like a double Junior Whopper version of Whitney. It was some decent songs, and she could make some runs, but it wasn't not like the real thing. So see what time we got. That Naismith, that dude was hitting nothing but all them outside threes. He kept making shots. He hit some quick threes, and then Nick started to fumble, and they folded like a chair. And the Pacers was trying to give him the game too because they foul cat a lot of times at 3-point plays. They would just keep doing dumb stuff like last year. Made me think they were going back to where they lost to Boston. Yeah, and he came back to haunt the Knicks last night. He was making everything he shot. And see, that's the problem with the Pacers because you can gear up for a guy like that, and then that's where someone else will beat you. They're a very unpredictable team because you can't really put a finger on them. You know, Miles Turner might have a night. You know, I mean, they are good like that. They're locked and loaded like that. Well, the Celtics probably sure could have used them last night. They sure could have used him. Oh, I'm a firm believer. The Celtics either just drive to the hole and stop all that 3-point mess. They win that series. Yeah, they're not a great team, but they got a good, solid team. And they got the kind of guys that's interchangeable. And they go deep on you, and you don't really have a chance to really, prepare for that because that's all what happened. And that's what happens when you can go 1 through 8 deep, through 12, because nobody knows who can come off and get hot. And they're not guys that people are necessarily going to want, but they're well coached. That's where Rick Carlisle looks good. They're well coached. They come in, they serve their purpose, they get what they're supposed to get done, and they not afraid of the moment. They battle tested. And I'll say it again. In this day and era of the NBA, that's good enough to win the chip. That's what LeBron James, his hard head, won't forget. And that's what Steph Curry won't get. Those guys are thinking because they're in stock teams or get guys, but it's different. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so the polls are going real good. Got more people. Well, the only thing about last year is that they blew games. So if they don't blow it like they did against Boston, doing dumb stuff to blow the games like they did almost last night, if they play consistent and they stay in forward and don't do dumb fouls or dumb turnovers or play dumb, yeah, they're going to be hard to beat. Because I don't think the Knicks can beat them 3 times in Indiana. I just don't. And they play crazy at home, so I just think it's going to be tough. They just last year they blew some chippy games against Boston. Rick Carlisle looked like I don't know if he was on the take or something, but if they win in like a game like that last night, that can have some interesting connotations. All right, appreciate you as always, man. They better win tonight because if they don't win, they're in trouble, and they're not playing Golden State or the Lakers. OKC can hit you with a combination that you don't see coming. So they better win tonight. They got no other choice but to win. So Ant better bring it. Don't be complaining about the rest. Bring it or else. So that's how I look at it. All right, man. Appreciate you coming through as always, and the best to you. Thank you for the time. I'll be back on tomorrow though, so we can do it again. And appreciate it. And the likes up and the subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna call it a night now. I think we didn't had, we guess we get no better than this. So appreciate everybody that came through. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. And I'm out one time. Peace.